Republican voters don't vote that way. They don't vote based on economics or based on the benefits they're getting economically from the president. They're increasingly, from the Tea Party on, they're voting on race. They're voting on this idea of an invasion of brown people over the border. The idea that they can't get whatever job they want. A black person got it, therefore drive all the blacks out of the colleges, get rid of DEI. That is what they're voting on. They're just voting specifically on racial animus.
I'm wearing funeral chic today because I'm so devastated over what we saw yesterday.
If we let things play out along these lines, our democracy will fall and we will become a country that doesn't have elections anymore.
What's wrong with you people? Why do you hate America? Why do you vote for a guy that says America is terrible?
They're bitter about the democracy they say they're saving because they can't control it. You have the power, and that kills them because they don't understand you or the issues.
I mean, if you look at some of these exit polls, I mean, I live in Virginia. Immigration was the #1 issue. I mean, again, these could change in Virginia.
Well, Virginia does have a border with West Virginia. Very contested area.
Build the wall. Like, what? I mean, when I was in New Hampshire, people were talking about the northern border as a threat because Trump has indoctrinated people with this fear of people who do not look like them being a threat to them.
2 weeks ago, a Venezuelan illegal was arrested for raping a little girl in Virginia. MS-13 controls large swaths of the Commonwealth. Migrant kids who don't speak English are packing into Virginia schools. Housing costs are up. Virginia's allowed to care about more than just Virginia. Virginians are Americans, too. They don't want to see a country invaded. They don't want to see Georgia girls murdered by Biden's migrants either. Why is that hard to understand? Virginia's watching New York and Chicago get overwhelmed. They don't want to be next. Not all of us live on an island like the Vineyard, where liberals deport migrants to military bases 24 hours after they touch down. Immigration is the top issue in the country. The media is mocking it. They're mocking you and calling you racist for caring.
Republican voters don't vote that way. They don't vote based on economics or based on the benefits they're getting economically from the president. They're increasingly, from the Tea Party on, they're voting on race. They're voting on this idea of an invasion of brown people over the border. The idea that they can't get whatever job they want. A black person got it, therefore drive all the blacks out of the colleges, get rid of DEI. That is what they're voting on. They're just voting specifically on racial animus.
Now, if wanting strong borders is racist, then Chicago must be Klan country, because black Americans have been screaming at politicians to sweep the migrants out. Joy doesn't know that? Eric Adams, the New York mayor who appears to be black, says migrants are destroying the city. That's not racism, that's reality. But now that every Republican's been declared racist, the media demands Democrats storm the beaches of Normandy and slay Trump like Hitler.
We were Americans, and we were there to save Europe from Hitler. And now, all of these years later, we have to get together as a country and save the country from the threat that Donald Trump proposes.
What? You're racist, Trump's Hitler, and immigration's a joke. That's how the media is covering the election. And they still won't cover Trump.
And we have no choice.
Yeah, okay. You know, it is, okay. I will say that it is a decision that we revisit constantly in terms of the balance between allowing somebody to knowingly lie on your air about things they've lied about before and you can predict they are going to lie about. And so therefore it's irresponsible to allow them to do that.
It's responsible to censor. That's the argument. This is a preview of the next 8 months. Stupid racists can't see their nominee talk about the nation's #1 issue. Last night, as graceful as he always is, Trump appealed to the media's better angels.
We need a fair and free press. The press has not been fair, nor has it been free, but maybe someday they will be. They're being beaten up pretty badly. People aren't trusting them. They're not believing them. And really, it's a very important factor. The press used to be the policeman. It used to police our country. Now nobody has confidence in them, and we have to get that confidence back. It's so important for the success of our country.
But the media doesn't want a successful country. They want themselves to be successful. but they don't care if the country goes down the drain because of it.
It's not about justice. It's not about agenda. It's not about mobilizing people. It's about dialing for corporate dollars. These two parties have sold the U.S. government and the American people to the highest bidders.